I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the Molly and I think it's be my third. Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort. I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. I just flipped a birdie, money so dirty. Got my bitch a mink, furry like Furby. I came up, made a million, spin it on a rolling. I'm stacking good feta cheese or ravioli, or maybe fettuccine, 30 martini. I'ma fuck your bitch, call me Houdini. I'm driving Lamborghini, oh in a bikini. 8 bottles to the neck, 3 wishes from a genie. Benjamin ain't dirty, but these Franklins, they built it. Always go to court, but I'm never pleading guilty. Ballin' so hard, I only be slam dunking. Be steady rockin', the trunk straight thumping. I be riding foreign Merlot while I swerve. Pedal to the metal, and I'm whipping around the curve. And I'm rolling out this marijuana, you can smell the herb. And I'm getting all this lettuce, I ain't talking iceberg. I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Jordan Belfort. I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belfort.
Our intended strategy was broad differentiation. Our mission statement was therefore to create premium products for the industry. We intended for our brands to withstand the test of time and our primary stakeholders to be customers, stockholders, management, and employees. In other words, we strive to have excellent design, high awareness, and easy accessibility of our products in both market segments. In the low-tech segment, we initially lowered our profit margins to focus on the buyer's most important point in product criteria, price. In the high-tech segment, we put heavy emphasis on keeping our products new and on the cutting edge of the perceptual map. In order to support our business strategy, the core activities within our business system included aggressive expenditures within the marketing, R&D, and TQM sections. This generated awareness and appeal in both high and low-tech markets while acquiring the leverage to support consistent product repositioning, keeping designs fresh and exciting for customers.
Our initial strategy focused on only 2 products, one product in the low-tech segment, Days, and one product in the high-tech segment, Drake. As mentioned, we considered ourselves broad differentiators. We planned on distinguishing our products with their superior design, positioning them in the ideal spot of their respective segments. We plan to update our high-tech products yearly to keep their age desirable, and our low-tech products every second year to keep their costs down as well as to keep their age desirable. Even though it would reduce our profit margins, we maintained these heavy investments in R&D to keep our products more desirable than our competition.
Our company understood that having a strong presence in both the low and high-tech sectors would aid in increasing our overall market share. This justified our significant investments in both promotion and sales budgets within the first few years of operations. Though we had products in both market segments, our overarching marketing strategy was similar, if not identical, for both high-tech and low-tech. Overall, our primary marketing elements included a broad differentiation strategy with hedged risks, heavy investment into marketing and sales to establish brand loyalty with a gradual decrease in marketing and sales spending over time, and finally, priced reasonably because products were not cost leaders nor premium. This ensured profits alongside competitive pricing.
From the beginning of our operations, Digby 29 saw the benefits of investing in total quality management. We made it our strategy to invest heavily in TQM in the early rounds of the simulation in order to maximize the benefits from TQM. Moreover, we decided to halt investments in TQM when we saw diminishing returns on our investment. These investments resulted in reduced variable costs, which include material costs, labor costs, and administrative costs, as well as reduced R&D cycle time, and finally, an increase in demand for our products. Our initial TQM strategy was successful, so there was no reason to make any adjustments.
In the production sector, our intended strategy was to initially invest heavily into capacity in order to prepare for our potential market share increases and the general growth of our company. We hoped that this significant investment early on in the company's operations would aid us in meeting consumer demand and grabbing market share. In the first 2 years of our operations, we concluded that having the highest market share was the most critical component to the success of our company, and so a lot of our resources were allocated into that area. Since we initially invested so heavily into capacity, we held back on automation improvements within the first few years of our operations and updated automation in the later rounds once plant expansions were closer to completion. We also invested very lightly into HR as most of our budget was allocated to the TQM and marketing sectors.
In order to fund the aggressive strategies, we had to look to either debt or equity financing. There were advantages and disadvantages to both styles. Equity financing would have reduced our overall risk, but it causes share dilution. Debt financing, on the other hand, allowed us to get the funds we needed without hurting our stock market performance. However, interest rates on bonds would have built as more our issue, increasing our interest liability over time. Ultimately, we decided to use both types of financing, but the majority will be funded through debt. We want to ensure we maintain a strong stock performance and diluted our stock prices and earnings as little as possible. Furthermore, as we were confident in our market potential, increased leverage was not a problem.
After poor results of the first 3 years of operations, our company realized a pure market share focus would not be successful. Therefore, in future years of operations, instead of focusing solely on market share, we focused on the overall health of our company.
The overall strategy for R&D did not change over the years of our operations. We did, however, introduce several new products in order to keep up with consumer demand and the growth of our competitors. In round 5, we introduced Dr. Dre and placed it at the edge of the high-tech segment, just beyond the optimal position. Our fourth and final product, Drizzy, was introduced in round 6. It was also positioned on the cutting edge of the high-tech segment. These implementations of the additional products allowed us to surpass our competitors in the high-tech segment, solidifying our position as market leader.
In the first 3 years of our company's operations, we overestimated our market potential because we assumed we were the only company to have identified the optimal position for products. This led to over-forecasting and thus the overproduction of products. This ultimately led to very high inventory holding costs. As a result, we continued business operations with a conservative approach to forecasting to minimize the costs associated with optimistic calculations.
After some less than desirable results in the 3rd year of our operations, we had to make some significant changes in the production sector. Our main problem was that our company purchased far too much capacity and were subsequently losing money due to inventory storage costs. After noticing that unutilized capacity was costing us a significant sum of our earnings, our company temporarily stopped plant expansion and made future plans to reduce capacity if similar results of unutilized capacity reappeared. We also decided to halt investments into HR as there were no noticeable returns after 2 years of investing. Our final change in the production sector was to begin increasing automation with the budget that we had. However, with such high costs, it was not our main priority.
After the first 3 years, we realized we had to adjust our financial strategy as we were experiencing significant increases in expenses and reductions in stock market performance with minimal profit. We avidly began paying back our long-term debt in round 5, as we've been incurring expenses from emergency loans and long-term debt which negatively impacted our cash flow. Our debt levels caused our shares to be less desirable and competitive on the market. Once we started to generate a steady income, we began to pay back our debt in large increments. From years 4 to 6, we consistently retired the maximum amount of long-term debt each round until our long-term debt was less than 1%. After 2 consecutive years of emergency debt, we took precautionary measures and always left a $3 million buffer to cover any unexpected costs if a forecasting or pricing calculation was inaccurate. To improve our declining stock desirability, we bought back some stocks to increase their rarity and desirability. The most effective financial decision, however, was choosing to pay out dividends. In year 4, we paid a 10-cent dividend and saw amazing returns. The following year, our stock prices increased 2,000%, and we continued to pay our dividends for the remainder of our operations, which continued to drive and maintain high stock prices.
Through the implementation of our strategy, we received the following impressive results. By the end of our 8th fiscal year, we were the undisputed market leader in our industry. We achieved the highest cumulative profit of roughly $74 million. We have reached the highest average market share of over 21%. We have the highest ending stock price at $95.71. We have the second highest ending market cap at roughly $160 million. Our ROE was the second highest at 10.5. Our ROS was the highest at 7.67, and our ROA was the highest at 16.54. And our asset turnover was the second highest at 2.02. These results left us with a near-perfect total final score relative of 94.2 out of 100, beating our closest competitor by 15.8 points.
Since our team did so exceptionally well, we are going to graciously offer our successors coming into Digby 29 with 3 recommendations which they must and should follow in order to continue our legacy. Firstly, in the 8 years of our operations, we have placed a heavy focus on the high-tech segment with only a minimal presence in the low-tech segment. Moving forward, it would be in the best interest of the business to begin expanding its low-tech offerings. A mixture of high-tech earnings and debt financing can be used to fund our expansions in the low-tech segment. Second, although we have deemed HR investments to be unprofitable in the short term, it would be much more important in the long term. We recommend investing into hiring spending and training hours to improve the quality of our employees and lower variable costs. Lastly, automation is one aspect of the production function which was not emphasized during the initial 8 years, as we deemed expansion to be more important. However, lowering variable costs through raising automation levels will be key for the firm to maintain a competitive price in the long term and improve our break-even point.
In addition to these recommendations, our company has prepared a SWOT analysis for the incoming Digby 2019, and we hope that this helps highlight our evident competitive advantages.
The 3 lessons we learned are as follows. First, accurate projections are vital. As stated earlier, over-forecasting can incur a lot of undesirable expenses. Due to the high inventory holding costs that resulted from over-forecasting, our company now understands the importance of accurate projections for product sales. Secondly, timing is everything. Whether introducing or updating a new product, buying or selling capacity, retiring or issuing debt, the timing of these implementations is vital. A good plan implemented at the wrong time will not have the desired outcome or reach its full potential. Lastly, collaborative decision-making is critical. In order to make the best decision possible for the business, the input of all members must be collected and synthesized to create the optimal plan. Decisions must be critically analyzed and questioned by all group members to avoid groupthink and ensure nothing is overlooked.
The story of Digby 29 has been a story of effective collaboration and success. We were quick to overcome our downfalls and have been on an upward trajectory to success ever since. But our story does not end here. Although we are all retiring, it is now in your hands to continue our legacy of nobility and power in the sensor industry.